Our last session before our coffee break is the WHD Hackathon results. Last year, World Hosting Days innovated by introducing the Hackathon. The popular side event returned to WHD.global 2017 again, and as the one-on-one Cloud Hackathon community, we have 7 partners, including one-on-one, of course, CMS Garden, HEG, Intel, InternetX, OnApp, and Plesk. They brought real-world needs to the table. Development teams from the entire tech community gathered on Saturday and Sunday, the 25th and 26th, to solve these exciting challenges with code. During the session, we're going to understand the accomplishments and who's been recognized and the progress made. To take us through that, I'd like to introduce you to and have a big WHD Global welcome for Mr. Paul Mockapetris, s'il vous plaît. Paul, come and join us on stage.
I'm Paul Mockapetris. Most of you know me as the inventor of the DNS, but I'm here today to talk about the results of the Cloud.Community Hackathon, which has been conducted here over the last few days. In order to do that, I'd like to introduce Sabrina Waltz from One-on-One, who has been shepherding this process. Sabrina. What's been going on?
Good morning, Paul. So nice to meet you, Paul. Yeah, our Cloud Community Hackathon was a big success. We had more than 50 developers from all over the world. They came from Spain, Romania, UK, Russia, the US, and even from Australia, which is really far away from here. Yeah, and we also had some old attendees and attendees from last year, German ones, and it was very nice to see them and to talk to them again. Yeah, and I think that's what a hackathon is about. Bring people together from all over the world, from different countries, different nations, and companies. This year's hackathon was built up of 7 projects. So these 7 projects were designed by our 7 sponsors as challenge for the hackers. So we built up teams, mixed teams, and all of them, or most of them, in the real world are competitors. And now we're working together on strong teams. This was very impressive to see. People were sitting in our workshop room until late at night and having fun, coding, sitting together there, having dinner, having lunch, never left the workshop room, were very concentrated. So the projects were cool, but it were the developers who came up with great ideas and cool solutions. And that's why I'm very happy we can present here today these amazing solutions. But for now, let's start with a little video that shows you the impressions of the hackathon.
It's a lovely weekend. We are here in Brest in the Europa Park, and we are having a great time with a great community, great projects, and really enjoy working on new ideas and new technologies.
It's a wonderful place here. It's very nice to develop here with the other guys here, and the room here is also stimulating the people. So explorers at the wall, if you see Magellan and something like this, it's really a good place to develop something with Intel boards.
It's a great opportunity to be here, to meet people from different countries, to work together, to join together, and to have fun together.
For me, it's been extremely good. I think well organized, the venue's great. The attendees cover a wide spectrum of expertise, very focused, very dedicated. So yeah, overall, it's been a really good event so far.
Has been a really, really fun and engaging experience for me. So I'm super glad I came here and was able to do that and have that opportunity.
Especially I like to see it grow, because last year the event was was awesome, but compared to this year, it was rather small. And it's really encouraging to see more and more people getting here every year, understanding the idea and the advantages of such an event. So it's great, definitely.
Okay, so now it's time for the hackathon results. And I'm happy to welcome Rainer Strater from 1&1 and Marcel Wagner from Intel.
Thank you, Sabrina. It's a pleasure to be here and to be part of the sponsors for the hackathon jointly together with Intel. It was amazing to see what these troops are able to do in a very, very short time frame with a technology that is quite new. And I think there is 3 critical factors which lead to this success and to these amazing results. One is, what you definitely need is, you need a great team.
One.
Here we are with a great team. So you need a great team, you need an excellent software stack, and you need a very good partnership. And I'd like really to hand over now to Marcel, who will explain you a little bit of what has been achieved, what technology has been used, and about the partnership which lead to the success.
Thank you, Rainer. So this is an IoT project which was jointly conceived with, between Intel and 1&1. So what is the idea? IoT does not make any sense without cloud connectivity. You need to stream your data, you need to control your devices, and you need actuation. But if you take a look today about solutions, most of them, or they are all proprietary, run only in specific cloud environments or on specific IoT frameworks. So the motivation for this project was, what if there would be an open IoT connector which you can deploy everywhere and in any IoT environment, and provide this concretely on Intel IoT Developer Kit and 1&1 Cloud to hackers and let them innovate and create ideas. So the setup is very straightforward. You have on one side, on the left side, the IoT kit, which you can use to create IoT ideas, connect sensors, actuators, and prototype. Then there's an agent on this IoT framework, which connects openly with an open IoT standard, or open source at this point in time, with open protocols, to the host, to the hosting service, where the data is streamed and managed, and the devices can be seen. You can trigger alerts, rules, and so on. You have a dashboard. Finally, on the right side, people can then access the data which is stored in the main framework in the middle and create services based on this. This all is done based on the usual suspects of open source. It's using big data frameworks and scalable analytics engines and streaming engines to make sure this is scalable and can be deployed everywhere. This is the first example of a team coming up with ideas called Smart Solar Power Plant. The idea here is having several solar panels and control them, predict the power generation based on, for example, light sensors and temperature sensors, predict the demand, and then control those panels based on the prediction and the real demand, monitor the status, and disconnect those panels based on the power demand.
You need to wind up.
Secondly, this is what you see, because it's an IoT workshop. So you see here our IoT platform. On the left, the Intel Edison, and then you see a lot of actuators and sensors attached to this, and for example, a display. And this is, as I said, with the agent connected to the 1&1 Cloud. So here you see some examples. You collect data. You can see the power demand, the solar panel usage, and you trigger events and actuations based on the result.
Okay.
All right.
So why do we, one reason why we did this, we presented it to people, and we want not only the hackathon feedback, we also want to carry it to you, to present this idea to you, and we want to collect ideas, whether this idea makes sense, create an open connector. We want to know use cases. We want to know your opinion. So if you're interested, please come talk to Rainer and myself. You can find us, for example, on the Intel booth to continue this discussion and bring in your ideas and how we could collaborate on this topic.
Thanks very much. I'm sure that all of the presenters will be available after this session. Next, I'd like to welcome David Jardin from CMS Garden for the next project.
Eigentlich könnt ihr drauf bleiben, weil dann geht es mit dem Bild leichter.
Thank you. Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is David. I'm from CMS Garden. That's a non-profit based in Germany, bringing together open source CMS projects. And we are participating in a project called Savicas that translates, it's an abbreviation that translates to Secure Websites and Content Management Systems, a project funded by the German government. And the problem that we would like to solve is that our open source CMS are powering millions of websites around the globe, and those are getting attacked from time to time because they're a pretty attractive target for attackers. And the CMS security teams are pretty good at fixing these issues in a short time period, but it takes ages for users to actually update their sites. And our idea is to set up a cooperation between web hosts and the official CMS security teams, and let CMS security teams prepare web application firewall rules while they're developing the patches and pass those application rules to the web hosts as soon as the patch is released. In order to do so, we would like to set up an invite-based communication platform where abuse team members of web hosts can invite their colleagues and get those rules. We developed this application using a tech stack, which is more or less standard thing in the web application world. So we are using Docker for deployment and development environment, a PHP framework, MariaDB for database, OpenPGP for secure communication, both signed and encrypted, some front-end stuff, and Git for version control. And what we achieved is a concept, so we have something written down. Not that often this sort of things are happening, at least in open source. We have personas for the different roles that we'll have in the application, and we also started setting up the application itself, built the data model, brought up the development environment, did some stuff on access controls things, so ACL, and also implemented the first tasks within the application. We did some proper wireframes in order to develop this application. It's making good progress. There are just some finishing touches that we need to do. And once this is done, we're going to push this live and brief the CMS security teams how to use it. And then this whole thing is going to start in the third quarter of 2017 in production mode. That's our thing.
Great, thank you, David. Next one I welcome to our stage is Arnold Blinn from GoDaddy. That's the clicker for the people.
Good morning. My name's Arnold Blinn. I'm from GoDaddy, and I'm here to talk about the project we did for the hackathon. The project that we did is based on something called Domain Connect. Domain Connect is an open source protocol that we've been working on for the last year or two that makes it really easy for users to configure web services like email and hosting services to domains whose DNS is running at other companies. The project that we did was a joint effort between 3 different companies. We had members from GoDaddy, members from Host Europe Group, and members from United Domains. And our goal was very simple. What we wanted to build was a working application, a working service that demonstrated the capabilities of Domain Connect, a service that worked across multiple DNS providers. And I'll show you what that meant. So what we built was we built an example web service application, almost like a small site builder. And what the site building application did actually was not important. In fact, the site building application was kind of almost trivially silly. But what was important was that the service could work against multiple service providers and successfully configure DNS in an easy way for customers. So we built a little application. We called it stateless hosting. And the idea was to give a user a place where they could come and define a website and then set up DNS to make that website run. So the first screen of the application to configure the website was a simple form where we collected a few fields that described how the site should render. In this case, we collected the name of the site, a background color, and an image. We also asked the user to input a domain name where they wanted their site to run. Once they input the domain name and all the data, they would hit this button on the bottom saying, "Publish my website." And that's where Domain Connect kicked in. The first part of Domain Connect was for the application, the service provider, to figure out who's running DNS. And so the protocol is built in a simple and easy way for the service provider to do that. Once, in this particular case, the domain we entered is running at GoDaddy. So once the application determines that, it gives the user a button to set up DNS. When the user hits that button, they're taken to a page on the DNS provider, in this case GoDaddy, where the end user can simply log in if they need to and confirm the changes to DNS. And when they hit connect, those changes would be made. Now what's important here is that the end user never saw any DNS manager, never had to deal with records in DNS, A records, text records, MX records, and SRV records. And with all due respect to Paul, most end users really don't understand what any of that stuff means. It was also important that the application could work with other DNS providers. So we ran the application again, a second time for this screenshot, and we input a domain that was running at United Domains. Again, the application determined that it was running at United Domains. The user clicked configure, and in this case, they were taken to a page to confirm the change at United Domains, where the change was made. Of course, we wanted the application to work end-to-end, so this was an example of the really rich and powerful websites we created, in this case displaying the name and the image and the color. If you want to learn more about Domain Connect, all of the information about the standard is up on domainconnect.org. Thank you.
Great, thanks very much. For our next, we have Robert Windisch from Hosting Europe.
Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Clicker for now.
Okay. We work at the APS systems. So. Okay. We are working on the APS 1.0 packages for Host Europe. So the description is that we currently the 1.0 packages for known CMS are very old. So there is currently no stable version for WordPress on the APS 1.0, and other systems like Joomla also like outdated and insecure. So we work together to enable Host Europe to have current packages for the CMS and for other systems at a stable state. So so the solution would be that we build a framework to build automatically the releases and to put them in our release cycle for the CMS. The technologies we used were really simple. We used speech because we asked the Bless guys to help us with the APS standard because they know them very well. We used wget to download the old packages, and we used PHP to write the XML manifest of the files. So the first one, currently we have created packages for Joomla and WordPress for the APS 1.0 package. These are CMS versions without modifications, and we can build them really fast, and this was all done on the first day. So right now we are left to work with Host Europe together to implement that into the current system and to implement it in our building system for the packages. And because we have time left, we simply work on our CMS scanner, which is a tool to detect the CMS on your servers. So you can simply run it on the server and you tell it which version of which CMS is in which folder. And we added a test for plugins and for features. So that will be released in the next weeks. And you see there a screenshot of the current output of the CMS scanner. So if you have any questions about it or you want to use it on your web servers, for example, simply go to our booth and we help you with that. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Next will be the Internet X team, and I'm happy to welcome Marco Reves. Hi, Marco.
Hi, everybody.
This is for the presentation.
Okay, perfect. Where is it? Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Marco Reves. I am the team leader for Cloud and Automation at Internet X. To be honest, I didn't really participate in the hackathon, but my co-workers had to go back. Someone has to do the work at home. So I will try to do the presentation as good as I can. So let's start. Our project was called the Scale Manager. We had two really cool guys, Niels and Carsten, on our team. They were doing a pretty good job. We were very happy. And the project is based on our product. It's called the Reseller Cloud. It's a private cloud solution where the customers can just raise instances or virtual machines with individual resource settings and limitations. And we're often facing the challenge that people don't know how to size the virtual machines and stuff. You can resize them later on, but the problem is it has to go very fast, and the second problem is that the people don't know when they need the resources. So we said we need a kind of artificial intelligence which collects the data and does exactly this job. So we basically needed a daemon who is running the service and collecting the data from the instances or from the virtual machines, a collector, a history, a queue, and a manager who's actually doing the job and resizing the images. The cool thing is we changed our technology for this operation from KVM. We are big fans of KVM. We changed it to Solaris zones, so we can do a live sizing without any restart or something like that. We use PHP for that, for most of them, because we're offering all the services needed with our API. We're used Docker for the development environment, PHP unit testing, and some Composer packages, and of course Git. We were happy that we could define a lot of things and write documentation, tests, and in the end, we know that we have to invest more in this situation. But we were very happy to participate, and the best thing on the hackathon was that we see how other developers work, and I think that's the most important thing, and we will take this at home and think about it. Yes, so basically we done all the job. We just need to implement it. I think it's coming to the Reseller Cloud in the next 3 to 6 months, and if someone has questions about the product or something, just visit us at our booth S21 directly outside. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, that was terrific. Our next presenter is from OnApp, Joaquin Woon. Come on and down.
Hi. Hi, Joaquin. So
Thanks, Sabrina.
this you can use for the slides.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Waikin. I'm a developer at OnApp. OnApp makes control panels for hosting providers to manage their clouds. My project is called the Uber Search Bar. And I have a really good, wonderful team of 3, myself, Ben, and Yava. I don't think they're here with me today, but I'm really thankful for their support throughout the hackathon. So what my project is about is that I wanted to build a better search bar for OnApp, but it's actually a really general problem where I see that it's very common that admin panels, they show you one specific kind of thing that you're looking for, but if you're trying to relate 2 different things, like if you want to find the websites of users who were created yesterday, you have to build a special query for that. And what I'm trying to do is to make this simple for users to do. Oh, I didn't actually click next. Okay. So the technologies we used were OnApp Cloud for the data source, but really this could be any kind of data source. My team had an expertise of Java and Python, so that's what we used for the scripts to import the data and also to write the search engine. And finally, we used Neo4j as the database. And what we did was we have a query like services running on hypervisor kvm-hv1, and we passed each part of that sentence into its components, like services is what we're looking for, and running on is how it relates to. The next thing is the hypervisor, which is what we want to relate it to, and finally we want to filter down the hypervisor, whose name is kvm-hv1. And this is our debug interface when we're developing this. So the query there is users who own virtual machines, not just users who are created and have no virtual machines. And the center part is the Neo4j query that our parser passed out and produced. So for you to write a similar query, it would be this complex, but we are making it really simple. And the last part is the output of from the database. So I have some screenshots of the results. So I mean, it's a really simple feature. I'm really glad we managed to pull it together in these few days. So hopefully, I can take this and generalize this solution to other problem spaces. Thank you.
Thank you, Waikin. So last but not least, Plesk. I welcome Plesk with Andy Kugarewski. Hi, Andy.
Hi.
It's
hello, my name is Andy, and I'm from Plesk, Novosibirsk, Russia. And on behalf of our team, I would like to talk about a project. Sorry, this was our previous project. I would like to talk about our current project, which is Plesk Cloud app. So the problem that some people have is that, it's kind of hard to deploy your app in the cloud if you're not really knowledgeable about it. Specifically, it's kind of hard to create a virtual machine. So what we wanted to do is to help people create these virtual machines so that they work right out of the box. The idea is you install a desktop app on your macOS. Obviously, we can do that for Windows as well. And after that, you connect this to a Plesk multi-server somewhere on a remote hosting. And then you simply, as you see on the screenshot, you simply say, I want to create a new subscription, which is basically a domain. You provide a domain name, you provide a password, and you click Create. That's it. After that, you basically get your virtual machine created by the Plesk in a cloud. And after some time, like 5 minutes, depending on the cloud, you can click login, as you see below on the screenshot, and you will be logged in into the Plesk virtual machine created in the cloud, and your website will be working right off the gate. So the technology stack that we have used is PHP, Node.js, plain JavaScript, and obviously we were using some SDKs and APIs for the cloud providers like Amazon and one-on-one. Well, and we obviously use Plesk, as you can see. So what are the results? Right now, the application works, and it can deploy and create virtual machines with Plesk on Amazon Web Services and one cloud. What we have to do is support other clouds like Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, OVH, and make the app more production ready. And basically, this is it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all the sponsors of us, and thank you to Paul. Paul was the patron of our hackathon, and therefore I just have one question left for you. Yeah, would you mind to be a member of our cloud community? Would it be something you would do for us?
Well, Serena, thank you very much. I'd be happy to, based upon the excellent work and the camaraderie and the things I've learned here during the hackathon. So yes.
Great, thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, audience. You've been great.
Thank you.